Francisco, but we're now at a location where Waymo exists, heading to the airport in Phoenix. The view is not that great if you look outside. It's strip mall city. We're in the desert right now. 49ers, though, won 41-22 yesterday. We've got injury news. We've got a nice Brock Purdy breakdown. There you go. A very lethal offense. Brock Purdy's return immediately raises the 49ers ceiling. Casper's going to do. We're on our way to the airport. Brock Purdy and this team, they won despite being outgained by 200 plus yards, which just goes to show you the power of flipping the field with special teams and then the power of efficient, explosive offense. It wasn't like the 49ers were lacking offensively. And I think that a lot of people will automatically equate yardage with production, but if you looked at Arizona, they had 452 passing yards, 488 total yards. They ran a ton of plays. They completed an NFL record, 47 passes, yet they didn't seem to really be threatening the 49ers all game. And that's because
they procured more flags than a tailgate at NASCAR.
More flags than a tailgate in NASCAR. 17 penalties for Arizona in this game. 49ers had only one. So 17-1. Special teams wins this game for the 49ers in conjunction with really, really good offense and opportunistic defense. All right. Yesterday in the locker room, I saw Tatum Bethune with a boot on his right leg, so right ankle. They are fearing a high ankle sprain for Tatum Bethune, the linebacker. If he is out for any period of time, and he had a cart take him to the team bus yesterday, golf cart there at State Farm Stadium. If he's out for any period of time, it's going to be Curtis Robinson, the Stanford product, playing at that middle linebacker position. That's the communication center of the 49ers defense, radio in the helmet. This was a game with a lot of leaky yardage for Arizona. Again, I said 488 total yards, but the 49ers muscled up when they absolutely had to. Margot, we were just watching the tape this morning, and you really loved Deommodore Lenoir's interception. Kind of came out of nowhere there, covering Elijah Higgins.
Yeah, he was
the
a
tight
magician.
end.
He just, the intended receiver didn't even see him until the ball was in Lenoir's hands. It was pretty epic.
So Lenoir, in that play, like I asked him specifically about the 49ers run defense, and I thought that was the key to everything that the 49ers did as a defense yesterday, because they allowed only 36 yards on the ground. And Arizona, there was one time where I thought, oh boy, this 49ers run defense might reprise its failures from the week before against the Rams. And it was on that second Arizona drive where they walked in for a touchdown and they moved down the field and they faced nothing worse than a 3rd and 3. After that, the 49ers did not allow a run longer than 5 yards in this game. And I know that the really long run from Bam Walker in the third quarter, that one was called back by one of the 17 Arizona flags, the Pharaoh Brown holding penalty. And if they hadn't held, that wouldn't have been a touchdown run. Nick Martin just got completely locked up. And yes, that is the rookie Nick Martin finally seeing some defensive action for the 49ers. And he had a couple nice plays. The guy can fly. He is now the Sam linebacker for San Francisco. He has replaced Luke Gifford. He's not going to change assignments if Tatum Bethune is hurt, because that spot is going to go to Curtis Robinson. They're not going to entrust Nick Martin with play calling duties. They're not going to put the radio in his helmet, but they are going to let him fly around in run situations as the Sam linebacker. And I thought yesterday he made some intriguing plays. It's all part of the youth movement of this 49ers defense. But anyway, 49ers stopping that run game allowed them to maintain control of this game, even if Arizona was picking up a lot of yards offensively through the air. But it was a lot of underneath yardage, and even the ones that went slightly over the top, because the Cardinals could not sustain a run game, they couldn't get into constant good down and distance to keep the 49ers defensive backs on their heels. And then you saw plays like Deommodore Lenoir's interception. And Demo said that exactly. Ooh, look, we probably have fences in the way here in Arizona. I'm trying to flip the camera. It's just not a very picturesque area. Sorry to anybody from here.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Like mountains and things.
This is better right now.
It's warmer.
It's a little bit warmer. This is a little bit better. I could see a couple of those buttes.
Potentially.
I think those might be buttes.
What's
Somebody
a butte?
can.
Just a giant rock? Red rocks?
Yeah, I think it's something in the desert that's a little bit red, that sticks up out of the flat ground here. Look, we have some cacti. We're passing some very, very in certain parts. I mean, we've gone on a cactus hike here in Arizona, like north of Phoenix. I love Sedona. I just, you're just
Everyone loves
driving.
Sedona.
I mean, we saw Scottsdale the other night, and the old town, a little bit of charm in certain parts, but then you hit the nightclub row, and you're like, oh boy,
gosh.
this is gone south
The
relatively
only thing
quickly.
redeemable in that neighborhood is the insomnia cookies.
You loved an insomnia cookies.
Yeah.
That really helped you on that night.
The double chocolate mint cookie was pretty epic.
So let's talk about the 49ers playoff plan. I think we're good. We're good. As soon as I complained about the scenery, we hit a much more scenic spot. We could even open the window as we make the drive here through the desert. So we could talk about the playoff plan because it revolves around a very lethal offense. Brock Purdy's return yesterday. Immediately, Margot, there was space to work with. You noted, Mac Jones did such a wonderful job for the 49ers over his 8 starts. They went 5-3, ranked number 12 or number 13 in QBR in this league. For a backup quarterback, that's awesome. There are 32 teams, but it just looked different as soon as he came in yesterday.
Well, I think we haven't seen Purdy play in how many weeks?
We haven't seen Purdy play in 7 weeks. He'd missed 6 games since Jacksonville on the 28th.
We've gotten used to watching a Mac Jones run offense because that's what we've had to watch. And it's not that it's a bad offense, but I think we've all forgotten how explosive Purdy could be.
And it's all because of the spacing. Brock can move with his legs. That threat, I think, creates a lot for the 49ers, but then he just takes chances downfield. And the fact that he takes chances downfield is what opens up stuff underneath. And then he's the master and commander of this offense. And I wrote so much about it on the San Francisco Standard. That's the article here on my laptop. But Purdy in this game, on his very on only the 6th snap of this game, changed the play at the line of scrimmage. And they entrusted him with a very, very aggressive game plan where they had a lot of cans and they had a lot of potential audibles. A can is when you line up and you have the ability to just trash can a play, throw it away, go to another one. Purdy had that opportunity early and often in this game, and on the 6th play, that's when he decided that I see George Kittle with a potential one-on-one matchup against the safety, and then the pass that he threw was absolutely pristine. Now, I have to say, I know that I was a little critical of the scenery earlier. This is not bad, and we're approaching the airport where it's going to get worse, so I might as well keep this looking outside.
Is there any airport that's scenic?
I think SFO is pretty scenic over the water. You got a nice view.
Yeah, not if you're driving up to it.
I think we'll let the comment section decide, but it's definitely not Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. It's definitely not Nashville. That airport's ugly.
I never said anything about Nashville's airport.
I like the airports that are near the water and also near a city. Unfortunately, LaGuardia got nicer in New York, so you get a really nice terminal now to go with the approach.
Yeah, LaGuardia used to be the armpit of airports.
Yeah. So the ones that are near downtowns, though, you get a sweet view as you're landing, which is cool. All right, Nick Martin. That's, part of the youth movement on this 49ers defense. When we talk about playoff plan for San Francisco, they absolutely have to find a way to pounce a couple times a game on defense. They're going to give up yards. We saw it yesterday. It was example A of that. But whether it be Deommodore Lenoir crashing for that pick on the Brissett pass to Elijah Higgins, or Upton Stout. Upton Stout's small guy, right? He's what, 5'9", maybe 5'10". I think probably shorter than 5'10". But he put up the most bench press reps of any cornerback at the 2025 NFL Combine. You shake his hand, it's very, very strong. And that grip strength is what yanked the ball out from Elijah Higgins. Higgins was on the bad end of 2 of those critical Arizona giveaways in this game. Upton Stout never gives up. And I know his height is going to create some matchup issues. It did against Michael Wilson on the early deep ball from Jacoby Brissett. But Robert Saleh has these guys coached in a way that they play to the whistle no matter what. I mean, they're always rallying around the football. Margot, you mentioned that you noticed there was 2 49ers tacklers in on almost every play, at least 2. And I think that that's, indicative of a defense that's hustling. And then when you see plays like the Upton Stout play at the goal line, it shows you that this 49ers defense hasn't given up. And that's all that they need from this unit. If the offense is going to be able to put up 40 plus or 30 plus, just 30 plus, 40 plus on occasion, 30 plus consistently, and the special teams can do what it did yesterday, it is the formula to win a lot of games. If the season ended today, the 49ers would be the number 7 seed in the playoffs. They would head down to SoFi, so they'd have a home playoff game against the Rams. They've already won in SoFi. Anything can happen once you enter the tournament. We just watched the highlights of the Seahawks and the Rams, and neither of those two teams was dominant. I mean, a lot of turnovers for Sam Darnold, yet the Seahawks still could have beaten the Rams on a last-second field goal. So we've already seen Seattle be beatable by the 49ers in week 1, the Rams be beatable by the 49ers skeleton crew in week 5. So you've just got to play this through, and you got to play it through to your strengths. And the 49ers' strengths, or their strengths, is clearly their offense. I mean, offense and special teams, those can both rank at the top of this league by the time this is all said and done. Anybody from Arizona can tell me what that landmark is. I don't know. In San Francisco, I can give you guys the full tour here in the Phoenix area.
It's just a park.
No, there was like a flag on top of that building. It was like a little monument inside a fence, and it was the tallest structure that I've seen in this entire area. Looking at the box score from yesterday, especially after watching the tape, I keep on going back to George Kittle and the impact that he had, obviously through the 2 touchdowns, which gave him 50 on his career. So he becomes only the 3rd 49er with 50 touchdowns and 500 receptions. That's super elite company. That's Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens are the only other 2. But outside of those 2 touchdowns, he had 4 catches that were all in such critical moments. What Purdy does for this offense, as far as the spacing goes, George Kittle then takes that and really thrives with it. There was a play that set up George's 2nd touchdown in the back of the end zone where he caught the ball underneath, and it was 2nd down, and he had 3 defenders in front of him, and he said, you know what, I'm getting this first down. It's like a battering ram, put his head down and converted the first down, and then he scored on 3rd down a few plays later. The fact that he picked up that first down, though, is what bought the much easier scoring opportunity. And then the separation that George generated on that 3rd down in the end zone, it's one cut, breakout toward the pylon. That is wide receiver 1 level separation. 3 plays after he delivered battering ram bulldozing for a first down. I mean, he is so special as a player, and it's really cool that he's in a statistic that only Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens outside of him can claim. So that was really neat to see from George Kittle yesterday. We can talk all we want about Brock Purdy coming back, and obviously the 49ers scored 41 against the Cardinals with Purdy. They only scored 16 with Mac Jones, but we can't forget that George Kittle also missed that week 3 game. And then you look at the 49ers run game. And I know I mentioned this in the video for the field yesterday in Arizona. They notched their first 20-yard run of the season yesterday. It was late. It was right before Christian McCaffrey's touchdown. And the relief, you would think it would be relief. And I think there was some relief because there had been this narrative about the 49ers not gaining a 20-yard run yet on this season, which is wild. I mean, this was game 11 for San Francisco. The reaction of Christian McCaffrey in the locker room when we're talking about it, though, was really, really telling to me. He was angry. He was downright angry in the locker room that it took the 49ers so long to notch a 20-yard run. And it looked like he just wanted to get back out there and play again. And guess what? He gets to play his former team, the Carolina Panthers, on Monday Night Football next. I think that this 49ers offense left that 41-point performance, which was undoubtedly extremely promising, very impressive. I think they left it feeling angry that there was still meat left on the bone. And I think, this goes back to this offense as the driver of this team. The formula was on clear display yesterday, but it goes back to the offense needing to push itself even further so that this team can accomplish the goals it wants to accomplish without Nick Bosa and without Fred Warner. And then it just also goes back to Christian McCaffrey being an absolute psycho. I mean, the guy is a total perfectionist. He can be on track for a 1,000 season that is shutting up any of the haters or doubters or people that thought that he looked a step slow in the offseason. He could be answering every single question. He scored 3 touchdowns yesterday, but he's still mad after the game about something. It's almost like he manufactures something to be upset about, and that's what helps motivate him moving forward. And I think this is such promising news for the 49ers because last year was just frustration anger for the 49ers, right? It wasn't motivational anger for San Francisco. This year, I feel that they've been through so much adversity and they've overcome so much of it, and now they're starting to get some of that firepower back. It really feels like they are on a vengeance kind of tour. I don't want to say a revenge tour like 2020. That didn't end up all too hot for the 49ers, but it really, really does feel that the 49ers are right now in a position where they think that come in from the underdogs table, although they'll be favored over the underdogs table, and flex what might be the top offense in the league. I mean, that's the takeaway from yesterday. That's the takeaway from seeing what they're talking about in the locker room. And it's going to be very, very fun to watch this all unfold as they will be favored in those next 3 games. They're 7-4. They're on the inside of that playoff picture. They win 41-22 over the Arizona Cardinals. Kyle Shanahan is going to be going at 12 today, noon. So we have just arrived at Sky Harbor. So this is the only airport right now in the entire U.S. where you can actually take a Waymo. SFO just got approval, or they approved Waymo. Around in both California and Arizona, freeway driving, but that's going to be rolled out gradually. Anyway, we decided to be efficient. We were able to take Waymo. We were able to take Casper, or this is probably Casper's long-lost cousin since it's in a different city. We're able to take it all the way to the airport. But as soon as we land in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan is going to have his call. We're going to learn about Eddie Piñeiro's MRI, hopefully. Hopefully he's had time to undergo the hamstring MRI today. This is kind of wild. Look, a plane. You can see the American Airlines tail. It goes right above us right now. I hope that this is structurally sound.
Well, we are at the airport.
We have made it to the airport. How's it going?
I need caffeine.
She needs caffeine.
And breakfast.
She's very tired. She has not eaten. She has not had breakfast, but she did provide some good insight on the Seahawks-Rams game and on Deommodore Lenoir. I loved your take on Deommodore Lenoir. That's going to be such a huge, huge key for the 49ers this season. Just opportunistic defense is what is going to get it done. Tatum Bethune, probably, well, I'm not going to say probably, possibly a high ankle sprain. I told you about the boot. And we are also talking Eddie Piñeiro a little bit later today. All right, guys, time to get out here at the airport. We will talk to you guys very soon.
Please make sure it's clear before exiting and don't forget any items in the trunk.